support.
If you get the running game going, then the Jets are going to be a tough team. That's really what it boils down to. Aaron Rodgers is still good at play action. Garrett Wilson, you saw how he can be an effective wide receiver. Lazard, I mean, he's a third level, third receiver in the offense. Really, you need to get Williams back. Who, well, I'm not saying he's the Williams that the Chargers had. He still would be a good wide receiver. The whole issue is the run game. If they were able to run last night, I think you see a different ball game, just a little bit different. Do I think San Francisco still wins? Yes. What's the point differential? The Jets lost by what? 13
13.
points.
Yeah,
So it's not like they were totally blown out.
basically 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to y'all, that's blown out. To me, it's not. Sorry, I don't see it like that. Blown out is if you're talking about 21 points or more,
Right.
because you can score 2 touchdowns in today's NFL just like that.
I
So
mean, didn't they score one late though? I kind of feel like it was like 32-12 or 10 or something like that, and they got like a late score. So, but it is what
uh,
it is.
But I'm
I
gonna get.
mean, if you say late, well, let me pull up when they scored that last touchdown.
To be honest, to be less technical with it, I don't feel like the Jets were in the game. Like they that wasn't a close game. If you think it was, then I don't know. Maybe we see it differently.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna give him a little leeway. You know what I'm saying? Try to get this thing together, playing against the San Francisco. I know they was missing Christian McCaffrey. That was a big part of their weapon, but for the most part, that team has played together for a while.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. That's why
That's the
I'm
only.
looking
That's the
at.
only thing.
That's
That's the only thing. You know what I'm saying? So, but I mean, they'll get it together by midseason. I want to see by midseason and stuff like that. And that run. Let me tell you something. That run game is going to
okay.
get serious because Braylon Edwards and I'm Braylon Edwards. I say Braylon Allen and Brees Hall is a good combination. Once they get that run game going, it's going to be kind of tough to stop. But
Realistically, because I'm going to take out the fourth quarter scoring because San Francisco scored 2 field goals, and the Jets scored. Yeah, they scored the touchdown with 25 seconds left, but it still was 13 points in the third quarter. So I get what you're saying in terms of the feel of the game. But what I'm getting at is in today's day and age, in terms of the NFL, this is not old school where you were running the team 13 points. We've seen teams come back from 30 points just like that. So
it's a 13
but
point lead at the end of the game though. That's
no,
what
I
I'm saying.
understand, and it was a
Yeah,
13 point at the end of the third quarter also.
and they
26, yeah,
started
20.
getting blown out. That's what I'm
What's your
saying.
definition of blown out?
But
What's your
okay,
definition of blown
coach.
out?
To be honest with you, like I said, they're not. They weren't in the game. If you think this was a close game, then that's on you. You know what I'm saying? Like this
Okay.
was not a close game. They did not. They were not competitive with the 49ers, in my unpopular opinion. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's it.
Okay, and I don't think it was like that. I just don't.
We
The
disagree.
San Francisco. Yeah, you gave up what did you give up 180 yards rushing? So valid point. I just for the Jet. All right, here's the thing though. You're bringing a quarterback who hasn't played all, and this is why I'm looking at it like this.
Hmm.
You had a quarterback who only played 4 downs last year. He didn't play anything during the preseason. You have 2 new offensive tackles. So you have an offensive line that's still trying to gel to come together. This is why I'm saying now. If you want to say they dominated them on the Jets defense and we were expecting more, yes, I
hmm
agree with.
yeah,
I'll
that's what I
give you
want.
that. I'll give you that 1 billion%, bro. But for the Jets offense, where they were, mm, now you want to say okay, the touchdown at 25 seconds, you got a valid point. I just don't look at it as they were because I'm looking at this offense like okay, they're trying to build up to something. I'll wait till week 4 to really see. That's what I'm giving it to week 4. Right now, it's Rodgers didn't even play all the last year. It's
So they outgained them 401 to 266, 180 to 68 on the ground.
mhm.
Um, 38, 21 minutes possession, 21-20 possession to 38-40. That's a huge disparity. So
I guess.
they didn't even have the ball that much.
Then San Francisco played a shitty game then. Based on what you're saying, to win by 13 points, San Francisco played a shitty game.
I'm not caping for San Francisco. I mean, that's not the debate.
No, I get.
The debate was it a close game?
No,
If
you
wanna make it a
said it was a blowout. That's why I asked you what's your definition of a blowout, and you said, and I get it. Some people look at the final score.
I'm just watching the game too. Me just watching the game. It didn't look close. It didn't.
No, he said it's more of it was a 3-score game, but they just got that touchdown at the end to make it up a little bit. But like I said,
that's
but
fair.
like
I said that's fair. I said that's fair there. I don't know.
I was just more disappointed in their defense because I thought their defense was going to be top notch. That's where they lost the game mainly because Christian McCaffrey was in there, and then they had the backup running back, and I thought the Jets was going to be able to stop him.
And the offense had 2 turnovers too.
Yeah.
See, so they didn't do themselves any favors.
Looking at the fact you had a quarterback who's just coming back from an injury and 2 new offensive tackles. That's something that's you're talking about. Not 1, 2. 2 offense in both or one is I know is.
I mean, the Jets can make the playoffs. I don't think they're. Yeah. I don't think they're a Super Bowl caliber type team.
No. Please don't think that's what I'm.
But that was the expectation preseason from Jets fans, from some certain people in the media. I'm not speaking to you, Coach.
And what was I saying?
You go there.
No. I'm not saying
you said that. You know what I mean?
And my point to you, what was I saying? I kept reiterating on paper. Didn't I keep saying that? And I kept saying on paper.
Facts.
So I get where you're going. I'm just saying. I'm looking at the fact you got a quarterback who's just, and that's what I'm getting at. It's like, okay, you made a good point about the last touchdown because I didn't realize it was 25 seconds. Okay.
Yeah, Born for Sports. Like Man-Cave said, we will be there November 3rd. We will be having a Big Blue Crew tailgate. This is our second annual tailgate event at MetLife. So, to be me, hopefully Coach comes out, Man-Cave, Lou, Mac the Giants fan, Big Pat, Alex, a whole bunch of us, man, from the Big Blue Crew, man. So could meet us, chop it up with us in person, and eat some good food, man. Have some drinks and chop it up and chill, man. And hopefully the Giants, hopefully the Giants can make us happy in some type of way, shape, or form, man. Because this is sad, man. But I want to keep the focus on the Jets here for just a few more minutes before I get into the sad state of affairs that is the New York Giants. I'm going to update the baseball scores here in just a second, too, and we'll tap into that. But as far as the Jets, looking forward, they play the Tennessee Titans next week. Now, the Titans, of course, lost
the Bears.
To the Bears. Will Levis looked awful. And Tony Pollard played pretty good. So the Jets going to have to show up that run defense. Titans ran for 26 carries, 140 yards on the Chicago Bears defense. So, again, you know what I'm saying? Things can get ugly in a hurry. So Rob Saleh is somebody that I've been, not a fan of. Not a fan of any of these coaches in New York right now. He's definitely one of them that I don't, while I think he's a good defensive coordinator, I don't think he's a great head coach. You are going to have to not let the Tennessee Titans run all over you in this game and force Will Levis to throw and let your defense eat. This matchup favors you, Jets. You should win this game. If you do just what I said, simple game plan. You know what I'm saying? Now, coach can get into the the intricals, the details, and all that good stuff, and that's why we love him because he studies the game at a deeper level. But based on a surface level, shut their running game down and make Will Levis throw the football to your defense.
You can say nothing, man. This is logical. That's basic logic.
But what's your thoughts, man? What kind of scheme would you come up with to shut the? Because that appears to be what the Jets' issue was primarily, is shutting down the run. So
You run
like I
your
said,
base.
Tony,
You run your base
go ahead.
defense, and you just play physically. That's really all it boils down to. They need to be a little bit more physical. There were quite a few missed tackles. Guys were bouncing off of that running back on occasion. So you need to shore that up, clean that up, and just play true. And because I even saw one play where Sauce Gardner was reaching to grab the running back, the running back, instead of going in physically to make a tackle. And I understand he's not a physical cornerback, but you gotta still put your body in there to, to make a play and to grab and come away with his towel. Nah, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. What's up, Earl?
That's good, Earl.
That's good, Earl.
But Cave, talk to him about the Jets and how the Jets can attack the Tennessee Titans in this matchup.
Yeah, first with the Jets, I got to look at the Titans as far as I know their interior is good because they got Simmons in there, and now they got Tavondre Sweat. So I didn't watch the game against the Bears to see if they're really stout up the middle. As far
Yeah.
as because that's what Tavondre Sweat.
Now they only had 2 sacks,
Who the Titans?
but yeah, but you know how Caleb Williams is. He's a run around, and Aaron Rodgers ain't gonna do all that.
Yeah.
They did have 5 quarterback hits. So this is all I get from ESPN. But I can go. I like to go into the pressures and things like that too, so I know that's important. But those are the surface level stats right there. So I mean, this Titans defense ain't no slouch. Harold Landry the third.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Didn't he get
saying?
Jerry Sneed,
Yes, they did.
the cornerback from the Chiefs? I think they in a trade. I think
Yeah, they did, but he's not on the stat sheet. I don't know if he played.
he
Did he
didn't play.
play?
He might. I don't know if he or he might not.
Yeah,
But I
I don't know.
thought that's where he
I
went. I
didn't
thought
catch
that's
that
exactly where he
game.
went. Could have
Yeah,
went to.
that is where he went. You're right, but he might have not played. So
Yeah, that's why I was looking at more of the Jets. Like I said, their run. I think they're gonna have more success with the run game in the beginning because, like I said, Brees Hall is a great running back. I mean, that line can do some things for him. Because right now, the only receiver that really got to me is Garrett Wilson. Yeah, what's that? Corey Williams, is he there? Or Mike Williams? Mike Williams, I believe. And
mm,
Malachi Corley, who they drafted, I don't know how much he played in that first game or not. I'm not. But I think that their advantage would be with the run game. But that's why I was looking at the Titans with Tavondre Sweat and Simmons up in the middle. If they could stop the run, then they could have some good. It's going to be tough against the Titans.
it is, man. It is gonna be tough for them Jets.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the Titans' offense. Probably with Will Levis in there right now, because that Jets defense will give him some problems.
hmm Now that we didn't got that out the way, let's check on our baseball teams. So Mets and Blue Jays, bottom or middle of the seventh now. They're going into the bottom of the seventh. Blue Jays 5-2 over the Mets. The Mets have been red hot as of late. I'm going to get into the Mets and the Yankees a little bit more here in just a second. But just want to kind of update you on the scores. They are in Toronto. Pete Alonso just got called out on strikes. So that is the Mets. And As for the New York Yankees, losing 5-0 to Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
5-5 in their last 10 games. Win one, lose one. Win one, lose one.
Back, yep, you right. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Only 3 hits on the night. 2 of them for Gleyber Torres. None from Soto. None from Judge. Boy. Yeah. But, again, Yankees right now in first place. I believe they're still in first.
Yeah, they still first in the East with a
Barely
1-game
hanging
lead,
on.
1.5-game lead
Yeah.
over Baltimore.
So, yep, barely hanging on. Like I said, let's give you a quick update on the standings. Y'all don't know, like, I'm really a baseball fan. I just
Aficionado.
I just be, you know what I'm saying? Tension is kind of spread thin, so, but when I watch I can watch some baseball, I watch some baseball. Don't have to just be the Yankees either, but Yankees on top right now, like Man-Cave said, 1.5-game lead over the Baltimore Orioles. The Mets right now with a half-game lead over the Braves.
And the Mets won 9 of their last 10 games. I didn't even know.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, they have. I'm going to talk about the Mets here in just a second here too, but wild card. Here we go. So the Yankees are division leader, of course. Baltimore Orioles 5.5 up. Kansas City 2.5, and then you got Minnesota with Detroit and Boston and Seattle trailing. Tampa and Texas technically still in it too. And the Mets, man, the Mets hanging on to a wild card spot, man. I want to see the Mets make the playoffs. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That'll be good.
I want the Mets to make the playoffs because the Mets did it right. They did it right, and they should be rewarded. You know, they seeing they needed to rebuild, got rid of some of these high price players, even though they still got some, but and they reset, and everybody thought the Mets was just like in this total rebuild, and now, hey, look, and they have an MVP candidate. I'm gonna talk about that here in a little bit, so y'all stay tuned, man. The heart of the city. We gonna get it in tonight, man. Got a live show for y'all, man. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Born for Sports says, hell no, Jets no. Super Bowl contenders with 40-year-old QB, overrated defense, trash head coach who's better at running up staircases looking like Auto Tune, Mr. Clean. Facts, man. That is very true. I'm not a fan of Rob Saleh, and I do not think the Jets are going to win anything or get anywhere near a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. Just have to see the Mets lose this game. Okay, I'll let you come on and talk about the Mets, but you're going to have to add me on Twitter or send me some type of DM on Twitter because I am not putting links in chats anymore. I just don't do that. Platinum can do that if they want, but I'm not doing that. I don't have time, and I don't want anybody sitting there, thinking they can come on the show and they can't. So, because these shows now, because we all work, we all have a tight schedule, so we want to keep the show kind of moving along. You know what I mean? So, but you'll learn, Mets. You'll learn. You're part of the crew now, so I will let you come on and talk about the Mets.
You're a Mets.
That's your name. All right. But you got to send me a message on Twitter. All right. So now let's get into this depressing ass team. Where are they? God Almighty. Get this over with. All right. The New York Giants. The New York Giants losing, of course, 28-6. And we just went over the film.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Big Pat, E, Lou, us three were over there as well.
Miz.
Great show, great breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of clarity on what's wrong with the Giants and particularly on offense. And the conclusion is it's everything. It's all it's just
All
it's a
phases, the execution,
shit show.
right?
A complete shit show. So now Giants losing 28-6 is bad enough. But when you do it, your home opener, 100th year anniversary, in front of a packed stadium, hyped out, got legends out there, everybody named Lawrence Taylor and Eli, yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
You not only embarrass your team, the fans, the ownership, but you embarrass the city, Giants. Y'all are an embarrassment to New York City. That's why I love doing Heart of the City. Because I'm just going to take it from the perspective of a general New Yorker. Y'all are embarrassing to the city, bro. And who on this team and what about this team is anybody excited about? At least the Giants, at least the Jets have Aaron Rodgers. That's a known figure that has won a Super Bowl. Nobody on this Giants team has proven, we're excited about Malik Neighbors outside of Dexter Lawrence and Andrew Thomas, who are legit Pro Bowlers.
Mm-hmm.
Legit Pro Bowlers, like all pro type level players. And the Lions have been playing extremely much better. Outside of that now, you got to look at what's really on this team, man. Because, A, the team is very young. B, we talked about the quarterback. We can talk about that till we're blue in the face. And yes, he is trash. He's washed. So yes, I'm saying it. Now, but the third thing is, this coach, Brian Dable, is not helping this team progress at all. With these crap schemes, and to me, he doesn't show the attitude of a leader of men. Because if you can't keep composure, your team's going to lose composure. And anytime the Giants have that game yesterday, the Giants had chances. They could have fought back. If they would have got their shit together, they could have fought back and came back in that game. This ain't no juggernaut team. They folded. And I've seen this too many times from this team. And that's a reflection on the coach. So yes, Daniel Jones is a bum. Y'all got it. Hit whoop-de-doo. But it's deeper than that, man. Coach, you got it.
The problem is the coaching staff more than anything. I'm not going to say the players don't have their level of culpability. They do. But it starts with the coaches. It especially starts with the head coach. The head coach is the face of the organization. Even your general manager gets players that the coach wants to fit his system that he's looking for. It all starts with the head coach. He's the problem. Um, Plus your play calling, your game planning yesterday, Sunday, complete atrocity. Um, no, he's not Joe. He's not Joe Judge 2.0. Mets. He's Jason Garrett 2.0.
Mets, you find me on Twitter, bro.
He did. He sent you. He just said. There's
You
just
said you.
sent.
I
He
thought you
said
said send me a DM. Oh,
no.
did he?
Just sent a DM on Twitter.
I don't see a DM from him. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Let's
well,
see.
according to his wording, I mean, maybe I
Oh, there he
misunderstood.
is. I had to refresh my screen. All right, I'll send you the link.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's beyond Joe Judge in my estimation. So
Mm,
he's an atrocity of a head coach. Um, and now this is not just on the field too. This is off the field. This is how he handles the media. I mean,
mm,
this is everything. This is how you guys even talked about how he handles the players. His antics, his so on and so forth. Um, nah, he's for me. Um, I've lost trust in him as a head coach, as a coach.
mm.
Someone was saying earlier, oh well, he was a good OC up in whatchamacallit. Well, when you have elite talent like that, of course, you know,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
anybody can be a good um, coach or play caller when you have good talent. It's when you don't have good talent, how do you elevate those players?
Mm.
And say what you want about all the guys on this team, man. He's not elevating people, and he's not making anyone better. Sorry. So, me, like I said, I'm done with him personally. So,
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Coach. Like I said, I'm putting it on both of them. I'm putting it on Dable. I'm putting it on Daniel Jones, and I mean Joe Shane has to share some of that blame as
that's
well.
fair. That's
You
fair.
Mm-hmm.
know, and
Everyone.
I've been a defender, but look, you know, you set all in with Daniel Jones. You know, y'all kind of made y'all's bed, and y'all got to deal with this now because you got the keys to the car. You know, we seen it in Hard Knocks. You know, you made that decision on Barkley. So, Daniel Jones, that's your decision.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you said we rolling with DJ. So,
You know what's the irony of all this? The three players on the Giants are Dave Gettleman player. One is Daniel Jones, who everybody lost faith, they lost confidence, they don't like him. But Dexter Lawrence and Andrew Thomas are the two best players, and they're Dave Gettleman picks. So Joe Shane really, his picks really got a hit. Kayvon Thibodeau has to come to play. And looking at that game yesterday, I know we talk about the offense. I was most disappointed in the defense. They didn't show up at all. I know
that's
it's a new
true.
system, but at the end of the day, Dexter Lawrence, Mister All Reliable, he's going to show up. But our edge rushers was non-existent, and that can't be. You can't have that. You know what I'm saying? And I was impressed with what's say the rookies Tyler Nubin and Andrew Phillips.
Mm,
Those guys is dogs, and Andrew Phillips didn't even play that much, and I don't know why. He should have played the whole game.
yeah.
It's like when you got guys
Let
doing
me
good,
see
you
if I
can't
can
take
get
them.
them
You
snaps
can't
up
take them
this.
out of the game because of certain packages of what you want to do. Just to put other guys in there who's not performing. You see what I'm saying? And then looking at that game yesterday, let's say yesterday, Sunday, Jalen Hyde didn't play that much because they took a lot of the personnel off the field because they kept going to a 13 and 12 personnel, thinking like the Vikings was going to blitz all game, and they didn't really blitz. You have to make adjustment as a coach. You're supposed to see that. Brian Dale, you're
Mm-hmm.
an offensive minded coach. You should be playing chess with this guy and be like, what moves is he doing? Okay, I see what he's doing. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. But you just called your play and didn't change it at all. And this guy stayed in a defense that just kept like he kept to changing little pieces here and there, and that's it. And he had you shell shocked. You know what I'm saying? It's like you as an offensive coordinator knows this. You know what defense to beat. and you didn't make any adjustments, and that's the strength of a head coach is making adjustments. At halftime, you came out, still didn't make adjustments. Okay, I can understand the first half, but at halftime, you got to come out and make adjustments. Like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to dictate how this game is going to be played, and that never happened.
Facts, man. Facts, man. It's it's sad, man, because this Giants season already feels like it's over, and this is after one game. And to be honest, I don't blame people for feeling like that, because this has been a pattern with this squad. And one thing we know about the Giants is nothing ever seems to change with this team. You know, you thinking about some of these years that they went to the playoffs. Normally they win that first game or win one or two of them first two, and they get going here. Then they have a little lull in the middle of the season, a little down streak, and then they kind of win enough games to get into the playoffs, and then boom. When these Giants teams been starting off game one getting waxed, usually that's how the season goes. And when you looking at Brian Dable, the way he's coaching, and you looking at a cooked quarterback, this is, I mean, hey, do I expect Dable to adjust his play calling? Yes. Can Daniel Jones play better? Yes. But again, it's not like you didn't like the team just looked totally unprepared. And this is 2 years in a row now, so I'm questioning, like, what kind of coach are we dealing with here?
34-3.
Huh?
34-3.
34-3 what?
Oh.
The last 2 years.
Oh.
The average 34-3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say there's only silver line that I seen in yesterday's game. A little hope is the offensive line play and the first year offensive line coach of Carmen Brasillo.
Absolutely.
I mean, like I said earlier in the other stream, I mean, I have never in the last 10 years seen the Giants pass blocking beat ranked number 10th in the league on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So that tells me, like, we have hope, you know what I'm saying, as far as that. And if you look at that game, we had a lot of time to do a lot of things in that game on a lot of drives. And it was just Daniel Jones and the playmakers and the play calling, which didn't allow us to do it because the offensive line gave us time. I mean, I'm not going to say something about the run game, but the pass blocking was there. And at the end of the day, this offensive line is a pass blocking offensive line. So they did their job. You know what I'm saying? That's supposed to be the strength of our team. And they gave him time to look down, and make plays. If the quarterback is gun shy, he's holding the ball a little bit too long, or he's not reading it right, that's not on the offensive line. And then I looked at some of the game when I watched the game. There was a couple times like Daniel Jones went into the sack. I mean, he had a pocket.
He was sacked 5 times, and 4 of them was on him.
I mean, he had a pocket in there, and he just, I don't know, you have a space in the pocket, just stay in the pocket right there and just fire the ball instead of walking
Daniel
to a
Jones
sack.
Of the 5, bro.
Right. And I mean, the pocket was there for him to step into his throws. They gave him a good pocket, like in front of him, like the interior, to step in and make some throws, on time. Or if he had led the receivers, I mean, those plays would have been made, but they weren't made. So that's what I'm saying. So that's why I give us like a little hope. Like I said, this is the offensive line, at least allowing us to make something happen. But it's up to the playmakers.
And Brian Dable's got to run the ball more. 14 carries for the running backs.
Right.
Come on, bro. Like, you're not doing your offense no favors, man, at all. It's.
So if he calling the plays, what is Mike Kafka doing? What do you have him on the team for?
Looking for a job. Because I'm trying to get up out of here if I'm Kafka. Because this is BS, bro. You snatch play calling from this man like as if he ain't no crap, and you was just gonna come in here and turn the Giants' offense to the greatest show on turf, like Lou said.
Yeah, I mean, I
Dude,
can
the
see it.
cheeks.
I can see if Caffrey
That
was
was
calling the
trash. We
plays.
just watched it in slow mo with the
Right.
film review, bro.
And just like we said, as far as the vertical threat, I mean, he said the plays was called, but we just didn't do it, and then some of it was taken away. But hey, you can't say it was taken away. You're a coach. You got to impose your will. You know what I'm saying? You have to impose your will. You can't just give up because say if they didn't take a shot or not. You know what I'm saying? There were time to take shots. Just take the shots. We're gonna have to take shots because if we just keep this little 10 yard, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah. And maybe he's telling Daniel Jones, don't, you know, be careful with the football. Who knows, man? Like,
But but but
it
but but
just looks ugly.
but in the training camp, he was saying he wanted Daniel Jones to take shots in the event. Okay, so what if he throw a turnover? Okay, that's what he was saying. But now
Why
it's
ain't
totally
take no
different,
shots then?
right? That's what I'm saying. It's totally different now in the regular season. It's like, yo, this is what everybody wanted to see.
Because if you the coach, I mean, you can easily tell him, Daniel, let it rip, go deep.
Right.
So it ain't all on Daniel Jones.
But we got to start giving these other
Because
teams DBs and safeties a cardio, man. These guys got to get a workout. They ain't getting no workout in this game,
and
man.
you got one of the fastest receiving cores in the league.
Right.
Just straight speed wise, run them on go routes. See what they can do. Maybe you get a PI or they come up with a contested catch or something. Especially neighbors. They don't
And,
do none of that, man.
and I noticed the receivers, for some reason, it's almost like they always end up in the same area. Why is everybody coming up to the same area? They should all be spread out.
Because he's too cute with his play calling. I think it's been him the whole time, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you. Apologies to Mike Kafka, for real. It's trash. But looking at the Giants' next opponent, the
Commanders.
Washington Commanders went down to the Bucks 37-20. One Jaden Daniels 17 out of 24, 184 yards. Was sacked twice. Added 88 yards on 16 carries and 2 touchdowns. So 2 touchdowns on the ground for Jaden Daniels. One of those was in garbage time. Cave, we called this game.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? How do you think the Giants match up with the Commanders here?
Well, this is a game that the Giants. This is a must-win for the Giants. This ain't, I know we beat the Commanders in the past, but this is a game right here. If we don't win this game, we are going to be in a lot of trouble because the next games are like the Browns and the Cowboys. But getting back to this game with Washington, I looked at the DBs as kind of suspect, but then again, hey, that was Baker Mayfield, and he was, hitting his receivers, stretching the field. We haven't stretched the field though, so if you don't stretch the field, then their DBs are not going, and their safety's not going to play back. They're going to play up, you know. So it might make it hard again for us to do things. So but we have to trust that we have to make some plays downfield. Against Washington, yeah, we should be able to run the ball, not in the inside because that's where their strength is with Payne and Allen. So we can get to the outside, and then plus they got Bobby Wagner as their Mr.
Yeah.
Reliable. He's a tackling machine. So if we could run to the outside, we got the speedy backs to do it. So I think that's what the Giants should target that, and also hey, time to open up the playbook for our receivers, man. What do we got to lose? I mean, we in a must win situation now. We just gotta let it rip. You know what I'm saying?
Tudo, salute, bro. Appreciate you tapping in as always. Hope
good,
all
Tudo.
is well with you and your team, and we always rooting for you and pulling for you over here. Pause.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Coach, what's your thoughts on the upcoming matchup with the Commanders? Those.
Not confident. I'm not confident.
Like in the past, right?
I actually think Washington's going to beat us.
Talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to him, Coach.
I have no trust in Dable.
From what he saw, yeah. I mean,
I have none. I mean, looking at the game plan, the scheme, you don't run the football. You really don't run the football. I'll give
Right.
you the very first play you tried to run some type of a trap or a split zone, and defensively, Minnesota, all three of the defenders, the exact same time, used the exact same technique to avoid the blocks and make a play on the running back. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, what are we teaching these guys?
Yep.
And, your use of the running back, yeah, okay. You and Shane have, talked about, the value you put on certain positions, so you don't value the running back. You really don't. You try to say
But you
Singletary.
gotta value the running game though. Like,
Exactly.
that's
But
just what I'm talking about.
but you still need to have some type of a talent in here that's going to run.
Absolutely,
That's
absolutely. I
and
don't think Singletary's a bum talent though. I don't.
mm-mm.
I'm not saying he's a bum, but you know
I
what?
mean, he
We
ain't
we, we
Barkley. I
talked
mean, I
about.
get it,
No,
but
no, 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 no. I'm not talking about that. That's not what I'm referring to. Please don't. That's I don't. I please don't misinterpret any
I
longer
know
what I'm saying.
I'm not.
What I'm saying is the emphasis on the run game is paramount, and for me in any offensive system. For what I've interpreted from Dable, it's
Mm-hmm.
just a it's just something there to keep the defense honest in a sense. Let me put it that way. It's not used to really, effectively control the game, control the clock,
Yeah.
to impose your will. I mean, on 3rd and 2, you go quarterback power. Now,
Yo, that play.
yeah, and
Oh
and
my
on
God,
but
bro.
on the
I know. I was
backside,
saying to myself real quick, Coach. I was like, Coach, I know Coach is losing his freaking mind, yo.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they did that play, me and
mm-mm.
Pat, we was all like, oh my God. Mm.
And again, this is 2 years though. Last year, third and short, fourth and short, you're passing the ball. Now you're going quarterback power on a quarterback who everyone talks about it nauseum about his injury history.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I get it if you want to use it once or twice during the course of the game, but it seemed like that was what you were trying to do, is really use the quarterback to run in the run game as opposed to effectively use the running backs. Now, I'll go back and I'll look at the run games and really evaluate it more, but it turned me off. It really turned me off, and I don't have trust in Dable. I'm sorry, I don't. And anybody who knows me will tell you I'm very optimistic and I'm very pro coach. And I don't like ripping coaches like this because I know
I
what
know
it's
you.
like.
Yep.
But
And you
I,
have been fair,
mm-mm,
very fair with
mm-mm,
Dable, and when I have
mm-mm.
been critical.
You
So
could
you know.
not offer me a job paying me $10 million a year to go coach with him. No, no,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
no. I'm dead. I'm dead serious on the love of my life's grave. I could never coach with that man ever.
That's saying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like to call an unpopular opinion, man. For real, man. But y'all give it up for Coach, man. Always.
Yes, sir.
Speaking that truth,
Coach said he lost
truth,
all confidence.
all confidence and respect for Dable. But in this matchup in particular, we're gonna get into a lot of this in Giants conversation Sunday. So y'all make sure y'all tune in for that. Probably be live around 11:15. Gonna move it up a little bit because we have an action-packed show. We got games, we got
Mm-hmm.
fantasy football, we got all the whole 9 yards. That show is, very very popular on Unpopular Opinion Sports. Yep. But now, particularly in this matchup, one thing I'm looking for, just watching the Washington team up close, is the Giants got to attack their cornerbacks, man. They got to let these wide receivers loose. And Daniel Jones has got to throw it. He's got to throw it, man. You got to throw it. You got to throw it up because these corners are suspect. What's his name?
You said
Saint
Sandstrom.
Juice.
St. Jude, Sandstrill, and
St. Juice,
Forbes,
Sandstrill, and what's the other one's name?
Emmanuel Forbes.
Forbes. Cheeks. Now, they'll make plays if you let them, Daniel Jones. But these guys are to be had in this game. And to be honest, so is Jaden Daniels. Had 3 fumbles last game. But he can take off, of course. We know his rushing ability. So it's going to be up to this D-line to wake up, get some pressure on Jaden Daniels, and force him into some mistakes. He's a rookie quarterback. Shane Bowen, have a scheme ready. Have something ready for this rookie quarterback. Dable, you picked his brain a little bit in the QB room. We seen that. You know, y'all have something ready. And on offense, like I said, attack their secondary. You know, don't be running up the middle into Payne and Allen. But Cave, what's your thoughts on
My whole thing, I'm looking at this game. I'm looking at our defense. I need to see these guys really step up and get some pressure because the Washington offensive line, I don't believe have no Pro Bowls on the offensive line. So there's no star offensive lineman that I can remember or if coach could tell me. But we should be able to feast in this game because Dexter Lawrence we know Dexter gonna get his, but I need to see Brian Burns, do his thing like he was doing in Carolina. I need to see Kayvon Thibodeau come alive because watching that game against the Vikings, I've seen Kayvon Thibodeau too many times was thrown on the ground, by Darisaw or whatever, they're all pro, whatever, and stuff like that. It's like, you got to get your game together. You got to get some pressure, spin, move something, do something, but you got to get pressure in there. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, Brian Burns got to come to play. That's the strength of our defense. I mean, of our defense is our defensive line. If we can't control the trenches on the defensive side, then Washington is going to pick us apart. You know what I'm saying? Because Jaden can run. They got Terry McLaurin, and for some reason, hey, guys just get wide open. I don't know where because our secondary, if our defensive guys ain't putting pressure, the secondary is exposed. I don't know what's going on. So the first thing comes is the defense. Yeah, I'm worried about the offense too, but the defense is supposed to be our strong point, the strongest point of the team right now, the defensive line, not so much the secondary and because they're young, but that defensive those 3 up there. If we think that the type of players they are, like I said, Dexter's excluded because he's going to be Dexter. He's going to do his thing. But them other guys, they should be feasting on there and causing problems, and wrecking the game plan. But on the offensive side, yeah, I'm looking for us. Like I said, the receivers, we got to have some explosive plays. We got to have some explosive plays so that way, teams could be like, after the Washington game, okay, maybe they are ready to open up the book, but. You know what I'm saying? Just to show people a different thing, because if you don't open up that playbook and be more explosive, it's not going to work. You can't keep going within a 10-yard offense. That's not going to work.
Yeah, man. And to your point, Minnesota rushed for 111 yards on 26 carries. Aaron Jones had 14 carries for 94 yards, 6.7 yards per carry. As a team, they have 4.3 yards per carry and a touchdown. So they definitely need to run the football. Washington, of course, they have Brian Robinson Jr., who I think is a pretty good running back. They also have Austin Eckler, a veteran. And those 2 combined for 14 carries for 50 yards. So... And, of course, like you mentioned, Jaden Daniels. So Washington is going to try to run the football on you, and the Giants have to be ready to
stop the run.
Stop that, first and foremost. But let's talk a little baseball, man.
Mets lost 6-2.
I'm going to bring Mets in the baseball conversation.
Mendoza putting together a batting lineup.
Here we go. So there's your link, Mr. Mets. But I want to talk about the MVP race here.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here. All right.
Hi guys.
Hey, what's going on?
Not
Um,
much, but I am
give
going
me
to
a
be.
give me a give me a second. Give me a second. All right. Um, gotta format the show, man.
Mm-hmm.
Follow the lead. All right. So first, I'm gonna start with the Yankees and Aaron Judge. Of course, the leader in the American League. He has cooled off, as they said here, batting just 186 with no home runs over his past 12 games. However, he's still on pace for 57 home runs and what might be his best offensive, what might be the best offensive season by a right-handed hitter in AL NL history. So Aaron Judge, of course, top of the league in the American League. No surprise there. He's
True.
having an amazing season despite some recent struggles, just by the Yankees. Period. We'll get into that too.
Mm-hmm.
Number three here. I don't want to skip over these players, but I kind of want to hit the point on the New York teams because I don't really
Harvey
know a whole
Jr.'s
lot
not that
about.
bad of a player for Kansas City. I'll give him that much.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. They just lost to Kansas City, so.
Mm-hmm.
But Juan Soto, of course, make it 3 MVP candidates on the same field this week in New York. Soto, like Judge, has been scuffling a little bit lately at the plate, batting just 217 with one home run through his previous 12 games. But his overall stats remain remarkable. 25-year-olds is poised to end this season among the top five in the big leagues in on-base percentage, OPS, and runs scored, and WRC. So he is also likely to register the first 40 home run campaign of his career.
Mhm.
So Juan Soto, you have Aaron Judge, of course, and let's go to the American League here, National League. I mean, of course, Shohei Ohtani, no surprise.
Yeah, no surprise.
Francisco Lindor, and this is the player I want you to talk about, Matt. So give me just a second. Let me read this out. Um, Lindor has gained ground on Ohtani in the MVP debate, while his Mets have gained ground on the rest of the National League. New York entered Monday having won 17 of its past 24 games and is in a tie for the final NL wildcard spot, largely thanks to Lindor. He batted 310 with 8 homers, 17 extra base hits, and a 111 OPS during that span. He set the franchise single season on base streak Saturday. His 30th homer of the year a few days prior is on pace to go 30 for 30 the second straight season. Lindor has been showered with MVP chants at Citi Field and some road ballparks in recent weeks, and deservedly so. So, Francisco Lindor, man, second place in the MVP, and the Mets have been on fire, as the article says here, won 17 of its past 24 games, 9 of the last 10.
Well,
Mets, talk to us about the Mets and why you think Francisco Lindor is deservedly in this MVP conversation.
why he's deserving of it? Because, well, I didn't think with how bad he started the year, or he'd get into this conversation, let alone have such a dramatic turnaround. How what? And I think he could be the piece that could carry the Mets to the playoffs. But what I think could stop the Mets from getting to the playoffs, it boils down to one man, Carlos Mendoza, and his compulsive gambling habit, whether it's with the bullpen, the lineup, or both. Tonight was a case in point of gambling with the lineup. I've been telling this guy for months, never bring DJ Stewart back or put him in the lineup ever again. I mean, putting Eddie Alvarez in to give Iglesias the night
I'm gonna
off,
send you the link, Leaf. Go
fine.
ahead, Mets.
Putting Eddie Alvarez in to give Jose Iglesias the night off to compensate for the fact that McNeil's out for the rest of the year, fine. But never, ever put DJ Stewart back in the lineup. He's very counterproductive. He's been a train wreck since getting off that somewhat hot start in April. I don't even know why Mendoza keeps giving this guy a second chance or going out of his way with his arrogance to go with these compulsive gambling habits.
So talk to us a little bit. I understand the gambling habits, but talk to us a little bit about Lindor, man, and what he's doing out there on the field, man, helping the Mets win these games and getting back into the playoff hunt, man. You should be excited about this because a lot of people picked the Mets to be pretty dang on bad this year.
I know, but my point is, unpopular opinion, that in my view, no matter how good Lindor is or how well he's done with his fielding, recommittal to plate discipline, recommitting to contact instead of going for broke with tunnel vision, my main problem is the team is being undermined whenever Mendoza goes into these bad gambling habits. Putting in pitchers he knows he can't shut the door. Putting lineups together that don't make any sense. Leaving pitchers out there to rot and taking them out after collateral damage is committed instead of before collateral damage is caused. It has been unbearably frustrating with this guy. Throughout April and May, where it's the biggest issue where he was at his worst. In August, there were at least 5 games the Mets blew because he gambled against Anaheim, against Oakland, against Miami, against San Diego, and against Arizona. And tonight was and the last 2 of the last 3 have been a gamble. Now Sunday,
have y'all won?
Just one of those last 3 games, but yes.
So you've been hold on, let me talk to you here for a minute.
Okay.
You wanna rant for no reason, man. You know, I expected some positivity out of you Mets with this Mets team because I think the Mets having Francisco Lindor in the MVP conversation is phenomenal.
It is, but I'm just making the point that every phenomenal thing is going to have something negative to counteract it. And for me, it's Mendoza and the gambling.
Okay. Well, all right. Now let's look at the Yankees, and I want to talk a little bit about what this team is doing,
or lack of it.
Now losing 5-0 tonight to
Kansas City,
the Royals. Of course, Judge with no hits, Soto no hits again tonight, and it's just been up and down. Stroman gets the loss, so this Yankees team still fighting, but I mean, I guess I could look at it like this, just to be positive. I think if you're a Yankees fan and them kind of being like a middling team right now is good if they get healthy and turn it up in October. Because you want to be hitting your stride, so to speak, going into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So they still got time, but right now they just look like a 500 team, literally.
I mean, this was the same case in 22. After the All-Star break, they finished 500. Essentially.
Yeah, but again, they didn't have Juan Soto in 2022 either. This is a whole different team,
True.
and that's what I'm saying. But I want to get Coach and Cave. I'm gonna bring Leaf in, and we're gonna get to basketball here in just a second. But
well, I'm gonna hop out. If that's the case.
Coach, yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on the baseball, man. I do appreciate you joining the panel, and we about to switch gears here in just a second.
All right, I'm out. I gotta hop in a different stream anyway.
All right, Mets. Have a good one. All right, man. What's good with you, Leaf?
Yo. Hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Welcome to the show, man. Welcome to Heart of the City, man. What's
What's
good,
going
man?
on? What's going on, man? Y'all already know where I stand, bro. Like us, ain't nothing gonna stop nothing. Um, I'm back at it. I got some new work tomorrow. Training on the job. I'm getting back to some of this
Mm.
W-2 money. The 1099 money was good, but I got to get back to this weekly check. Um, car, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Nah. My car was a little bit on the fritz, man. So I gotta get back to this. I gotta get back to that W-2 money. I gotta get back to that good old check. So,
Mm.
but nah, but I'm gonna still be around, still be peeping the show, man. Just gotta work out my new schedule and everything. I get a brand new schedule, so I gotta see how
Yeah.
I'm doing this season and everything. Week one of the NFL done pissed me clean off. So yeah,
Yeah.
y'all already know where I'm at.
You ain't the only one, man. But um, I wanna well, first of all, Coach, did you have anything on the baseball, thoughts on the baseball, the
Mm-mm.
Yankees in particular?
Mm-mm.
Cave.
Yeah, Yankees will be Yankees, man. I just gotta wait till the playoffs, see what they do. But as far as the team, man, I don't trust the bullpen. I don't trust, you know what I'm saying, even the starting pitching, man. They
Yeah.
shaky. They shaky,
Pitching
man.
pitching's been looking whack too. Um, Now with NBA switching
Mm.
gears, this okay. So a lot of Nets fans, in particular, have been, you know, wanting to know what we're gonna get from Cam Thomas, and I'm just thinking about what Jordy Fernandez, this coach, is supposed to bring to this team. Now, supposedly, Jordy Fernandez is one coach that likes to have his big men, you know, act more as playmakers. You know, kind of like you see out of Jokic, you know, in pick and roll situations, dribble handoff, um, things like that. And that, to me, I'm thinking about Cam Thomas, and I'm thinking Cam Thomas has to also elevate his playmaking in those situations. Now, I did look at some film on Cam, and he can do that, but he has to be consistent. So my thing is though, can this Nets team and Jordy Fernandez in particular get Cam Thomas and Nick Claxton to a point to where they're legit young pieces moving forward on this team and elevate these guys' plays, because this is a young team, and to me it's about player development. This guy's here to develop certain players. What do you have all these draft picks for? You want to bring in young talent and develop players. You know, you have guys like uh, uh, Clowney and Jalen Wilson. So, but just speaking about Cam and Nick Claxton, because Nick just got paid. Like, is this the right guy to elevate these two players based on what I said and kind of his plan for them?
Wait, you talking to me?
Yeah,
Hmm.
you
Oh,
you you
my
you're
bad.
you're the you're the Nets fan.
You're the Nets insider.
Yeah. Apparently, I am the net. Well, I've been outside most of the time, but listen. According to what I've been hearing around the league, the answer as far as Jordy Nelson goes is yes. Everybody likes his rapport around the league. He's been voted the top assistant by coaches and by GMs. Players like him. Like holding guys accountable. There's a lot of stuff that he was getting done in the all season in terms of practices. with a young group of guys, a bunch of young unknown guys, which is key going in for him because the thing with him is that like you want your young coach to have younger players that don't really have egos, that don't really have the diva mentality, that type of thing or whatever, man. So I personally think his plans going in for this team is going to include Claxton more so in fast break opportunities, more so on rebounding and pushing the ball. He has the ability to do so. It's not pretty. It's not crazy with it. It ain't on no Giannis stuff, but obviously, but he's gonna want him to they're gonna want to push pace. They're a young team. We're not really expected to do nothing. If we get over 25 wins, man, that shit is a shocker to any and everybody. So but I mean realistically, yeah, everything that he's gonna do is gonna include Clax. Clax did sign for 4 years, 100 mil. I mean, it was, I mean, to compared to the money that's about to be handed out, it's pennies on the dollar. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a lucrative contract for the Nets to save money and build somewhat of a young core somewhere down in the near future. So but to answer your question, yeah, almost everything is gonna include clacks, pick and rolls, dribble handoffs, getting a rebound, pushing a break, those type of things, defense, switching. Obviously, Clowney can do a little bit of the same, but we're gonna see it's mostly but just the key word in all of these players and this team is development. That's the key word, and that's what the coach, that was the coaching staff, and Jordy Fernandez is going to be looked to be doing for the foreseeable future. So we're gonna have to see how that go.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Definitely, man. I think the expectations is low for this Nets team, and I think that's good. It'll allow them to play freely. You know, it'll allow the coach to not have as much pressure on him. He can coach without a bunch of noise in the media. Nobody expects his team to be good. So again, man, it's setting up good. I do want to ask you this: are you out on Cooper Flag, Leaf?
Um, Not as the number one pick, no, but as a pick for our team, yes, I am out on him because Ace Bailey has spent at least the last couple of months impressing me almost every time I've seen him. That's not to say anything about Cooper Flag. I think Cooper Flag already defensively, he could do a lot of things. Um, Offensively, I don't think his ceiling and his ability is nowhere near what Ace Bailey is capable of doing right now or can do in the future. When I see Ace Bailey, man, I'm seeing almost all the comparisons, and I don't want to name the names right here right now, but I'm seeing all the comparisons what he can lead up to. This draft may potentially be um the first three players out of this draft may all be hits for whatever team they go to. But I'm also looking forward to placement. I think as far as placement, I think Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper, either one of them are a better fit for the Nets and better fit for this town and then better fit for this fan base than a Cooper Flag. If we get Cooper Flag with the number one pick, we're gonna be looking for him to go off right away because we're
Mm.
starving like that. But that's how hungry Brooklyn fans. Come on, but like Brooklyn, anything is hungry like that. That's how we get down. So I don't want it to be that. I just want it to be okay. We got a player that we know is going to be something, but it might be maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe three. Who knows, man? So we'll give him that time lapse. I think with Cooper Flag, I don't think we're going to be as lenient with him. You know what I'm saying? So, but in terms of Cooper Flag, I'm not out on him as the number one pick because I believe whoever gets the number one pick is getting him. I'm out on
Hmm.
him as who I want for this team.
Now, here's my thing. Um, I think you're right. I think it's gonna be a pretty long season for the Nets with a lot of losses. But the NBA is a lottery, and if you don't get that first pick, you know, what is the plan B for the Brooklyn Nets? To me, like what I need to understand that because it's no guarantee you're gonna get Ace Bailey. I know that's the prize, you know, pick for Nets fans, but I that's who I would prefer myself. Just to clarify that, but I don't think necessarily that the Nets need to be all in on Ace Bailey. Like they need to have a plan of what type of player they want. You know what I'm saying? And who's gonna fit whatever Jordy Fernandez is trying to do here. So again, yeah, I'm with you, but is if Cooper Flag's out and he's there, are you trading the pick?
If Cooper Flag, like I said, I think I'm okay. Excuse me, I'm okay with any of these three. But in terms of who I want Ace Bailey, and I want him as much as anybody else. But if we get Dylan Harper, or if we land a Cooper Flag, I'm okay. I'm not. I'm not going out in the streets and going crazy and ripping Brooklyn apart for that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I would
However,
hope I would hope not. You know what I'm saying?
no, no, no. I'm
We
not. I'm not
want we
gonna go
want to
crazy.
keep Brooklyn intact. So
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Especially knowing that I can go from like 100 million in 0.5 seconds, brother, with this team, and with it just about any basketball conversation because people have been trying me this summer, and I'm gonna put an end to it. I'm gonna put an
but
immediate end to it.
but coach, I know you are connected, in that sense, as far as your love for Rutgers and two of the players that we're discussing here, Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper, are both playing for Rutgers. In your opinion, which player you could throw Cooper Flag in there too. Which player you think would be the best fit for the Brooklyn Nets?
You
Just
guys
based
have
on what you know
consistently,
about the players, yeah.
because you guys consistently have always talked about you need a point guard, you need a point guard. It's going to be Dylan Harper. Dylan Harper, his creativity, his size, because he's 6'6", 6'7" on some publications, but that's still good size over Schroeder, who's right 6 feet, 6'1". He can take you. He can post up in the box. He can still go outside. He's facilitate. He's going to get guys in the right spot. His basketball IQ is phenomenal. So, and you look at him and say he's thickly built, but he's strong. He's strong, and he can take contact and still continue to the rim. So, um, based off of that, now as far as a bigger upside, I understand about Ace Bailey because Ace is just dynamic, and I'm intrigued to see what he's going to do, at Rutgers this year. So, and how this team is built in around both of them. So, Ace is a three-level player. He can play in the box. He can face up. He can dribble. He can shoot. He's a good help defender. Very athletic, can leap out the wazoo. So realistically, you can't go wrong with either. But based on the fact that you guys were always talking about a point guard, I would say Dylan first. And that also allows Cam to, play more off ball. And you can facilitate for him and do a whole lot of other things, and he can still handle the rock and still bring it up, and they can play off of each other too. So.
Breezy, I sent you the link on Twitter if you want to join the basketball conversation. We're gonna talk basketball for a little bit, and then Coach gonna get in the coach's corner. Then we're gonna wrap it up. But Yeah, I kind of agree with Coach. Like, I want a point guard, bro. Like that's like I think Cam Thomas can be a playmaker, a better playmaker. I don't think he can be the primary playmaker on the team. You know what I mean? And I want a true point guard, man, that can dictate the pace and the tempo of this team. And you know what I mean. So like Ace, Ace would work too, but now you're gonna have kind of you know a thin backcourt, and your front court is gonna be more, you know, you're gonna have more players there. You know, when you throw in Claxton, Bailey, Clowney, some of these other guys, Sharp, like
Mm-hmm.
so. I think the point guard would be the better fit, in my opinion. But I'm gonna get Man Cave's opinion on that, man. What's your thoughts on what we said so far, Cave?
Well, I'm just listening to everybody talk about with Cooper Flag, and you know what I'm saying, it's like, but of the four, he's the only one that played against NBA competition in the Olympics. You know, between Dylan Harper, you know, Ace Bailey, and I keep saying everybody keeps forgetting about VJ Edgecombe. Like I said, that's the top four right there. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so yeah, I mean, listen, Ace Bailey, like I said, I'm here in Georgia, so he plays here. So you know, so I see the comparisons, but I need to compare. The comparison is to Jabari Smith, who was here about a few years ago out of high school here too. 6'10", same thing, 3 level player, score everything. So you know, if you, I mean, look at Jabari Smith at with the Rockets. If you watch him play, that's what Ace Bailey is projected to be. So you could take a little bit of that, but I mean, like I said, yes, all players are different. You know what I'm saying? But you know, in the college season, we'll see. Like I said, Dylan Harper, I watched this game too, so I'll watch to see if he's really a true point guard because I'm thinking he's a combo guard, which is not a bad thing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so you have to watch we'll have to watch this season how they play in college because that's against high school competition. Now you get in college, now you're playing against bigger, stronger athletes too. You know what I'm saying? Then you get to the NBA, that's even bigger, stronger, faster athletes. So, you know, you get to see if they really are what they are going to be. You know, so first I want to see how they play in college first, and then by the end of the season, you'll see who's going to be ranked higher or whatever by the end of the season, college season.
Yeah, man, that that is true. Um, we do gotta wait to see them actually play, but you know, it's really to me. The only hope I got is in this fan.
Listen. If the Nets will be good if they get they have to get a top four pick.
Is
I
to
mean,
get one of
they'll be in
these cats,
they'll
yo.
be in the
Like
top four. You
I
got to.
feel like
I'm gonna be honest with y'all, bro. I don't think we go lower than three. But if listen, you know what? I'm putting my bias in this. The NBA owe us a top three pick. So with all the teams that we didn't do, the NBA owe us a top three pick. That's the least they can do. That's the
So
least they can do.
wait a minute. Why the NBA owe you a top three pick? They don't owe the Knicks a top three pick.
They
Whenever
don't
the
owe
Knicks,
the Knicks.
no,
man, they don't owe the Knicks nothing.
I'm saying whenever they lost.
They don't
Listen,
owe the Knicks. They don't owe the
listen.
Knicks a top three. They don't owe the Knicks a top three pick because they already screwed up a number one pick years ago. So like
No, 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 no,
that
no, no,
that's
no,
null and
no, no,
void.
no, no. What I'm saying is like we always like everybody when we get a top pick, it's a conspiracy. We got it one damn time as a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. The Spurs get it every year. Nothing happens. Oh, it's good. It's the Spurs.
No. It's a conspiracy too over there. But the thing is, people don't acknowledge it because the thing is, New York is the bigger market. San Antonio, nobody's paying attention to San Antonio until they win. That's the problem.
And they've been
That's the
winning. They've
reality
been
of that
winning.
situation.
They've been winning
Yeah,
too.
no. The reality is that they've won with
I know.
one top one. Well, technically two, because they had David Robson. If you want to
Yeah.
count David Robson, but
Uh huh.
realistically, Wemby hasn't turned into neither one of them yet. So we gotta wait. That's
Yeah.
number one. Number two, the thing is they deserve us a top pick because we have been helping out teams that have winded up
Helping
winning
out.
championships. Bro, Boston was
I
built
know.
by us.
Listen, I know.
You
We
know
have
the
been helping
last
out.
top three pick the Nets have had
Uh
trivia.
Eric Favors.
Yep.
huh. Huh?
Derek
Derek
Favors.
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 Yeah, Derek Favors.
If I'm not mistaken, that was back in 2010. Oh, the last
Yeah.
person remaining in the league in that draft is Paul George, by the way.
And the last number 1 pick was Kenyon Martin.
That
He
was a good
turned out
pick.
pretty good. Yep.
That was a good
That's a pretty
pick.
good pick.
Yep, absolutely. So, yeah, it'd be nice, man, if the Nets got the number 1 pick. But if not, I mean, just get a good player, keep building the team. You got more picks to will and deal with, man. I just don't trust Sean Marks at all.
And
And
that's
that's
one of my
another
biggest things.
concern of mine.
Why is he still there?
I
Because
don't know.
my whole thing is they really should have keep Kenny Atkinson. He should have still been there because Kenny was really getting the Nets on the right track. That guy developed young talent. Actually, I would think if he was here now, I would be more confident with him. I don't know Jody. What's his name? Is it Jody or what is his name? John Fernandez. His name?
Jordy Fernandez.
Jordy. Yeah, I don't know too much about him. I know he's an assistant coach, but like I said, I know Kenny Atkinson. He has a track record, so
I mean, he might be good because you got to think a coach like Kenny Atkinson, they're going to want to play the veterans. They're going to want to, try to win as many games as they can, yada, yada, yada. So that's why I was saying earlier the expectations being low is good for the Nets and Jordy Fernandez because it'll allow him, at least this season, to kind of figure things out and see what he has in his team.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what about them Knicks, man? Y'all gonna get rid of Julius Randle or
We ain't getting rid of Randall.
you gonna
They
trade?
need a big.
You gonna trade for a big man? That's what I was gonna say. Y'all gonna trade for a big man? Talk about them Knicks, man. Man-Cave.
I think that's the only thing they're gonna do is try to trade for a big. If they're not too confident in Jericho Sims. But as far as Julius Randle, he gonna be here this year, man. I mean, I know people want the Knicks to get rid of him. I want to see what he gonna do with the Knicks, a healthy team. I want to see what he gonna do first before they get rid of Julius Randle, which I doubt they will. Because at the end of the day, Julius was here when nobody wanted to be here. You know what I'm saying? Athletes like that, you keep athletes like that. But as they make a trade, I could see Robert Williams. I mean, Walker Kessler would be great from Utah, but I know they want to arm the leg because he would be great for the Knicks as far as like the defensive presence and stuff like that. He's a young player, you know. So, but as far as the Knicks, hey, only thing I want is health. We got health. I don't care about nothing else. And Knicks fans ain't even worried, not one damn bit. If we healthy, we ain't worried one damn bit.
See, that's the problem with y'all right now, bro. You
Nobody
talking
want to
about
see
ifs.
us. What's the problem with us now?
That's the problem with y'all right now. Y'all talking about if. That's imaginary friends in my book. That's
If
what
it was
it's
a fifth,
called.
we all be. I know. If it was a fifth, we all be. I know.
Yeah,
That's what I said.
exactly.
Yeah, that's what I said. All we want is health, man. That's all we want is health. That's all we want.
All y'all want is help. Well, why does it seem like I'm the only one that knows how this shit is gonna end? But I gotta keep it to myself because I don't want to spoil anybody.
Yeah, let's let Coach get in there real quick, man. And Coach, going into the season, man, what's your expectations for this New York Knicks team? And do you feel as though they need to make a trade for for another big man?
Yanka Dare.
Don't say that name. Yinka Dare. Yinka Dare. I think that's the late Yinka Dare.
Mm,
Oh, I think I remember. Oh man.
Play for the Nets.
Oh my God! Oh my God, man! Yeah,
I forgot about that.
I remember
Leaf.
Yinka
Oh,
Dare.
there's just
Oh
one
my
thing
God,
I want
remember
to say one
Yinka
thing
Dare.
to Leaf though. He said, "Oh, the NBA owes the Nets."
Oh,
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you say, right?
Yep.
Okay. Let me just throw some names at you. Okay. Well, I'm not going to say Dwayne Washington, but Dennis Hobson, Chris Morris,
Mm-hmm.
Mookie Blaylock, Derek Coleman, Kenny
Mm-hmm.
Anderson,
Mm-hmm.
Tim Thomas, Kenyon Martin.
number one
I'm not going
pick.
to say Eddie Griffin. But you say the NBA owes.
I would say the NBA at least as of today owes us a top 10 champion.
As of
If you
today.
want to like now, I
But
didn't
you
know
said,
we was
but you were
talking
throwing
about this.
the Knicks. But you said your exact words were, but the Knicks had the number one and they ruined it, which was Patrick Ewing in 1984. But yet and still, it's the Nets today. But the Knicks are of the past. So I just want to make sure I understand that right. So it's a
No,
double stand. It's a double standard. It's the Nets for today, but the Knicks are the past. Okay.
it's not. It's not. No, wait. Hold on. Let me clear this up before we go any further. I'm eating chicken right now. Here's the thing.
You
The thing
what?
is,
Wait a minute. You said what?
I said, here's the thing.
No. Pause. Wait a minute. You
No.
did not.
I
What
was
did you
eating
say about
chicken.
chicken? What did you say about chicken?
I said I'm eating chicken right now. I'm like, yo, hold on.
My bad. I
Yeah, hold on.
I thought
Wait,
you said
yeah.
something else. That's what I
Come
was
on,
like.
coach, clear your head, bro. Come on.
All I heard was chicken. All I heard is I'm chicken. I was like, what? Wait, what? Yo, bro.
Hold up, coach, clear your head. Come on. Clear your head, coach. Come on. All right, listen. First off, the reason why I said what I said because we gotta realize how the Knicks got this team that they're about to come into the season with in the first place. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did y'all not get rid of most of y'all draft talent to get
But
this
you
team
said the
that's
point
here?
was, but the point you said, I'm only going based off of what you said. You said the Knicks had the number one opportunity, number one pick before and ruined it. You're telling me Patrick Ewing was ruined?
I mean,
Seriously, that's what you said, Leaf. You said the Knicks had the number one pick and they ruined him.
Compared to all the other all-time great centers, I think we can all agree that Patrick Ewing is supposed to be sitting on at least one championship right now.
Michael Jordan. Come on, bro.
Michael Jordan wasn't around. Michael Jordan wasn't around in 1994. He was gone for a couple of years. So somebody else, some other all-time great center took advantage of that time. Somebody else took advantage of that time. And it wasn't Patrick Ewing.
But now you're talking about Patrick Ewing in his later years. I get where you're going, but to capitalize on his prime market, because you could see if Akeem Olajuwon got his too because Michael Jordan was gone. But Akeem wasn't winning it.
And that's the other center that I'm talking about. The thing is, everybody knows that the Eastern Conference, the second that Michael Jordan left in 1993, everybody pretty much knew that the Eastern Conference, bro, basically, it would not be an argument, bro, but for me, but you could basically say the Eastern Conference at that time belonged to the New York Knicks. They was the second team up. Nobody seen anybody else coming.
Okay, leave
if you want to say somebody else, that's fine. But
Miami at that time. Miami was there.
Miami in 94?
Orlando
in 94.
Didn't lose to Akeem? No, it was in 94. I'm sorry.
That was in 95. That was in 1994. That Eastern Conference was the Knicks to lose.
Why did we lose? We didn't lose because they ruined Patrick Ewing. They lost because of John Starks. I love him to death, but come on, bro.
Right.
If it wasn't for John Starks, that championship was going to the Knicks. So no. See, my point is, you use the word ruined.
Mesco, Charlie.
You said ruined.
You got an issue when I said ruined. When I say ruined. When I was speaking as far as the all-time great centers at that
wasted. You're saying they wasted the opportunity. Am I correct? That's what you mean?
I mean, you could call it that. I mean, but
because
listen, I said what I said initially.
But ruin means that he didn't have a good career. They wasted. I mean, not wasted. They didn't even develop him.
That's not what I meant when I said ruin, bro. But I mean,
okay, that's why I'm trying to be clear because you said the word ruined. In sports, when I hear ruined, it's like, yo, it's not you wasted there's a difference between wasted the opportunity. Yes, you were 1,000% right. They wasted the opportunity when Michael Jordan was gone those 2 years. Patrick Ewing should have had at least one championship. I will agree with you there. But when you say ruin, that's like, yo, the dude is an all-star. He's in the Hall of Fame. How is that ruining his career?
Coach, look at it. We only had one overall pick in 40 years.
Yes, and you guys had at least had two. Y'all had two, and then you've had in the top three several times.
Neither one of them was Patrick Ewing, bro, and y'all know
But the point I'm making, okay, Derek Coleman, when he came in, was coming into, he should have been, his game should have gone even further, man.
Kenny Anderson,
his game
should have.
Okay, then so Kenny Anderson, Coach Anderson, love him to death, but I don't know. I think
we can all sit up here and agree. Derek Coleman, as good as he was, Kenyon Martin is as good as he was, as number one picks, were never going to be what Patrick Ewing was.
Derek Coleman should have been. Derek Coleman should have been. If
you want to say recently,
yeah, recently. Go ahead.
Because since 2010, with that Derek Favors pick, the Nets have not picked in the top 10. They haven't picked in the top 15.
Okay.
Now, in a lot of those years, they haven't had picks.
That's what I was about to say.
That's neither here nor there. But they did have picks, and they still had picks in a lot of those years too. But that to Lee's point, if you're talking recently,
I'm not talking recently. It was just recently, and the question about trading Julius Randle. What did I say? NYG constantly. I said you can't trade Julius. I've even said that I see what New York is doing to try and trade Julius Randle right now is idiotic right now. He's your number two scorer. He's your legitimate number two scorer, and there's no there's people want to say, oh, he doesn't fit, and I always go back to the same thing. Once you did that trade, now the only difference is you brought in Bridges. That's the only difference. Mm-hmm. But prior to that, the Knicks were 20-3 before everyone started getting hurt. I get that. I understand that. But my point being was they had the chemistry. They were developing a certain level of continuity. They were playing good defense as well as playing good basketball offensively. So injuries is what derailed the Knicks last year more than anything. It wasn't Julius Randle being a black hole and taken away from everyone else's. No, Brunson took control of this team, and you know what? Julius fell in line. He knew he was the number two.
You know what, Coach? I agree with everything that you said, 100%. Injuries is what derailed this team last year. And that's exactly what's going to derail this team again. It's because of their style of play and their head coach. I know what's going to happen.
But here, no, wait a minute. See, now, because you're going to say the head coach because what? He uses up his starters all the time, right? That's where you were going with that, right? Am I correct, Leaf? You're saying he runs down and he wears down his starters, correct?
No. No. I wasn't even going to go there. I'm going to say, but because if he's bad damn luck anyway. That's what I was going to say. He's bad luck.
Now we're talking luck. I'm just talking about in terms of, because everyone who says that, they say, well, he's always wearing down his starters. Last year, we were one of the deepest teams, and one of the reasons why we made the playoffs is because when the starters got hurt, he relied on the bench that came in to be starters. So when you're going 10 deep, 11 deep last year, when you lose 3 guys from your starting lineup, guess what those other guys are doing? They're going to the starting lineup. So you went from 10, 11 down to 7, 8 that he depended on. So that's the thing that right now, the concern, you want to say legitimately, is a backup center. That I agree with any. But everything else, realistically, he goes at least 2 deep on everywhere else. Now, if Jericho Sims can develop, if he everything that he's shown, and I get it, you still have to put it on the court. He still has to produce. But if he does, then okay, fine. That eases some of the concerns. It doesn't take it away. I still think you would need another center just in case of anything. But yes, injuries are a concern, to your point, Lee. Whether it's with OG, whether it's Mitchell Sharp, you want to throw in Julius Randle because he's always been out the past 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, in Man-Cave? He's always going out in the playoffs the last 3 years. So that's legitimate. You're right in reference to that. I am concerned, and I think most Knicks fans they are concerned with
That's why we
injuries.
say health. That's all we say.
Yes,
Right.
we all say health, but you're right to that point. But if everybody is healthy for the most part, you can't tell me the Knicks aren't a deep team, and Tibbs hasn't been using a deep team. Now, if you want to say his style of play, okay, but they play defense.
Mhm.
And defense, am I correct? You've always told me defense is effort than anything else. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
So
I always tell
Absolutely.
you that. But the thing about today's NBA, the way the
hmm
Knicks play defense is mostly like, okay, let's just win this possession. When you play defense like that, the thing is you're prone to a bad fall, a bad landing, just that, like maybe something going wrong. And I start to see it. I don't know what it is, man. I just kind of
Orlando plays the
calculate
same type of
every.
defense. Orlando, go watch Orlando. Orlando actually plays the same type of defense as the Knicks.
They do, and that's one of the reasons why Jonathan Isaac can't stay on the court for more than 25 minutes or can't stay healthy
So,
for most
in
of his career.
essence, what you're
Oh,
saying, Leaf, in today's basketball, I'm only talking about today's, not old
yeah, today,
school.
yeah, yeah,
Today's
today.
basketball, realistically, it's not about playing defense. It's just basically just going down and playing.
Winning the possession.
Yeah, it's really not really playing hard
Mm-hmm.
physical defense. That's what you're alluding to. Like that Philly, New York. Most fans they're not used to that. That's old school. We all are used to that because we grew up on that, and for the most part we probably all love that. But a lot of other fans they don't like it because they want to see offense,
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
and
That's true.
that's where okay, you're right in terms of what the level of physicality. Okay, I'd rather have guys be physical and give me their all on the defensive end and set hard screens and move the ball the right way on offense than anything else, than all this other type of basketball because it leads to ISO ball. It really does. It
Yeah.
leads to ISO ball, and that's why teams are easy to defend. They really are. But when you start moving the ball and fighting through screens and everything, that's why a lot of teams don't want to do that. They don't want to fight through screens.
Mm,
That's my opinion. So
Facts.
y'all are
yeah.
more basketball experts than I am. But I'm an
Nah,
old
nah.
school grizzle, fat type of guy who just likes physical, dirty basketball.
Yeah.
Physical, dirty, funky, stinking, nasty basketball.
Yes, there you go. There you go. There you go.
But yeah, man. So we're gonna get ready to wrap up here. We're gonna get into Coach's Corner. So without further ado, Coach, do you have your notes and everything ready?
I have notes and I have my
Let's get it,
hopefully
coach.
some
Hey,
images.
coach. I ain't forget about Ruckus this year, man. I'm
Mm-hmm.
stay tuned to the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get my new schedule for work, man. But I'm gonna stay tuned to the schedule, man. But I'm gonna
Gotcha.
let you take it away, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. So without further ado, let's get into it.
All right, NYG. Thank you for this. I really appreciate this. Um, Before I really get into it, there is one thing that I want to address. It does deal with the NFL. I talked about it yesterday on um, the Reading Attack show, and I'm going to show you a little something that I put together. Let me see. Damn it, I can't bring it up.
I can bring it up if you need.
Yeah, no, it's on one of my other. I'm trying to figure out how to get to it on the. I'll see entire screen. It's something. Where is it? There it is. All right. Do y'all see this?
Yep.
All right. Yesterday I spoke on the situation. Go check out the episode if you want to get more into it. one of the things I wanted to talk about, because I call this life-changing mentality. A lot of it deal. We all know about the Tyreek Hill arrests, traffic situation. You've probably already seen the body cam now, and I've upped my ante because originally I said I wanted the cops to, just get some type of training to, correct and better themselves, because I really wasn't too sure. But based on those body cams, all those cops need to be fired. Plain and simple. There's no reason why you need to, just so you guys understand who's that white guy. That's Scotty Scheffler. If you remember the golfer who got arrested, he was never taken down to the ground, but Tyreek Hill was. And I have an issue with that. And that was a situation where, as Chris Canty said today, you were just trying to put the boy in his place. That's all that was. And I have issues with it. So, where is it? Miami-Dade, whatever it is. NFL, you need to get behind them and you need to speak out about this. And you need to demand that all those cops lose their jobs. And I'm going to take it an even step further. They should never work in any form of law enforcement. I don't care if it's CIA, FBI, another police department, correctionals. I don't care if it's as a security guard or as a bouncer. They should never be allowed to, quote unquote, protect and serve, because they have destroyed the trust. So that's all I wanted to say about that. So let me get into Coach's Corner for you guys now. I'm going to start out with the New York Liberty, as I usually always do. So going into the playoff, Liberty, today they had a game against the Dallas Wings. New York, let me bring up the standings for you guys. And here we go. New York was standing in at 29-6. Well, they won tonight, so now that's going up to 30-6. So they're further solidifying themselves in the playoff positioning. So this past week, Thursday, they beat the Wings 77-70. Then on Sunday, they won a big game to sweep the season series against the Las Vegas Aces 75-71. So they continue to maintain the top regular season spot, as the season winds down. They do have a tough test coming up this coming Sunday against number 2 seed Minnesota, who actually won today also. Now, it is going to be at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, so it's a home advantage. Hopefully, the fans will go out there. Minnesota has given New York problems. I think right now with the Commissioner's Cup, I think they're up 2-1. So, but it's a big test. And this is what New York is going to need as they gear themselves up for a run in the playoffs. And hopefully New York's women's basketball first championship, because New York definitely needs it. It's been a long time coming, in reference to that. So hopefully we will go ahead and get that taken care of. Now, during that course of that time, Brianna, where is it? Brianna Stewart. I lost the image. So Brianna Stewart, though, over the course of the last 10 games, not including today, she's averaged 22 and a half points, 8 rebounds, 3.4 assists. So she's really gearing herself up. Tonight she had 27 points. So that's a big thing. Right now I'm projecting that if New York wins 3 of the last 4, they're definitely going to solidify the number 1 because of Minnesota right behind us. And if Minnesota loses, I think it'll get down to 2. So and the last thing on the Liberty, just a little fun fact I want to give you guys and bring it up. This deals with Sabrina Ionescu. Something pretty exciting, which, I found very interesting. And, I was like, oh, I really didn't realize that. So, and it deals with, bang, here we go. She's 5th now in franchise history with 789 rebounds. And she's been in the league, this is with her 4th year, I believe it is. So, I would have thought New York would have had more people or more players who moved up the rebounding ladder, but kudos to her. Congratulations to her. Now, again, these does not include tonight's stats, so just add on to it if you want to go take a look at tonight's stats for Sabrina Ionescu and the Liberty. So that's that in terms of the New York Liberty. Next, we're going to go ahead and talk about the WNBA. Let me bring back my screen for the W. And it deals with starting with, for those of you who don't know, it's a tough deal for the Chicago Sky. Chicago Sky, who currently sit in the eighth spot, they lost their leading their leading players in rookie forward Angel Reese. She's been put on the season-ending injury list with a wrist injury. She went to have surgery. I think she either has it or she will be going to have surgery soon and start the recovery process. It's tough for New York, for Chicago, because they're fighting for that last playoff spot. And Reese has done well contributing, being the leading rebounder. Also, with her being in contention for the Rookie of the Year with Caitlin Clark. So we'll see how it ends up. I still think she'll end up at number 2, but right now, Chicago is still fighting for that last playoff spot. Now, the push comes down to 3 teams: Atlanta, Chicago, and Washington. Chicago currently holds the spot. They were before tonight's game. They were 1 game ahead of Atlanta. Atlanta ended up losing tonight, and then 2 games over Washington. So they're going to be fighting tooth and nail. All 3 teams are playing teams that are either in or fighting for the playoffs. Chicago plays Washington, at Minnesota, Phoenix, at Atlanta, and they close out at Connecticut. So that's a tough one right there, especially because they have to play the number 2 and the number 3 teams in the playoff spots. Atlanta plays against Minnesota, which they lost tonight. Washington in a home and then away. Chicago, and then they're at New York. So they end up playing the number 1 and the number 2 teams basically to close out the season. In Washington, they finish up against at Chicago, away and then home to Atlanta, New York, and then Indiana. So they have, some would argue probably maybe a relatively easier than the other 2. But if I had my opinion, I still think Atlanta is going to make it. They definitely have the talent, they have the coaching, and they have a little bit of a slight edge in veteran leadership, especially with Tina Charles over there in Atlanta. So also the fight for the other playoff spots or playoff positionings. Number 2 and number 3 are going to be between Minnesota and Connecticut. I think Minnesota is going to edge them out. And with number 4 and 5 with Vegas and Seattle, those are pretty much are going to be a dogfight down the wire. And then Indiana, they're close to locking in the number 6. I think they're pretty secure because they got 2 games up on Phoenix right now, and Phoenix has been losing ground these past few games there. So, but you guys see the overall record, with these teams. Oh, sorry, I didn't have Washington up. So, but you can see, like I said, Atlanta lost today. So I don't think is Chicago playing tonight. Let me double check that. I had put that down. WNBA. And Chicago it's Connecticut and Los Angeles. So Atlanta is a game and a half behind Chicago. So but that's it right there in terms of the WNBA for you guys. So next I'm going to move over to some college football now, and I'm going to start with Syracuse. Syracuse took on the Georgia Tech Rambling Wreck, the Yellow Jackets. I say Rambling Wreck. Sorry. Georgia Tech was number 3 in terms of the rankings, the Associated Press rankings. So this was a big game for Syracuse. Let me close this out. Okay, here we go. And Syracuse ended up victorious coming away with the win, 31-28 against Georgia Tech. So right now, Georgia Tech falls to 2-1 overall and 1-1 in conference, while Syracuse falls to moves up to 2-0 in overall and 0-1 in the conference. Now, offensively, the Orangemen were led by quarterback Kyle McCord, transfer over from The Ohio State University. McCord went 32 of 46 for 381 yards, 4 touchdowns. He also rushed 3 times for 10 yards, no interceptions. Now, during the course of the game, Syracuse actually jumped out to a 21-7 lead in the second quarter. McCord in that first half threw 3 touchdowns. He ultimately threw 4 for the game. And he was very effective and decisive, in terms of his overall play. In terms of the overall yardage, I had it there. They went for, what was it, 500 and what was it? They went for 515 yards of total offense. Where was the stats? I had the stats all set. Or was it in the other one? All right, I have it written down. But again, image, don't want that to show. But in the game themselves, they went for 514 yards. There it is. They accumulated 514 yards of total offense. So, they pretty much dominated this game offensively against Georgia Tech. So that was a big thing. Now they need to work on their special teams because Georgia Tech blocked a field goal and a punt and recovered an onside kick. So that's something that they definitely need to work on going forward. And to close out the Syracuse, NFL Hall of Famer, Dwight Freeney, ended up having his jersey lifted up into the rafters for the. That's something special there. That was a ceremony that was done at halftime. So
he played for Syracuse.
Yes, he did. He played for Syracuse University. So
wow,
that was big. I remember him very much so back in the day. So he was a dog at Syracuse, trust and believe. So next up for Syracuse, they actually host Stanford September 20th in Syracuse. That'll be a 7:30 kickoff. So I believe that's a Friday night game, if I'm not mistaken. Week 4. Yeah, it's the 20th would be a Friday night game. Why do they not have? Oh, I have Big Ten locked in. That's why. Come on, Edward. Lock out a Big Ten. There we go. Yeah, they're going to be playing. They're going to be hosting Stanford Friday the 20th at 7:30. So this will also be an ACC conference game because remember, Stanford is now part of the ACC. So kind of strange, I know, just like with the Big Ten, it's strange. So, but it's part of the business of doing college football nowadays. So, but we'll see what happens. More than likely, they're going to come away with a win. I think in the ACC, yeah, Syracuse is tied for Boston College with the lead. Like I said, and Stanford is 1-1 overall, and they haven't had a conference game as of yet. So, in other college football news, if you haven't been paying attention, the Fighting Irish, Notre Dame, had a big game, or it ended up being a big game, where they ended up taking on Northern Illinois University of the MAC. And they ended up in a fight of a game. They were projected to be to walk away with that game, and it ended up not going their way. Northern Illinois ended up defeating Notre Dame 16-14. They put on a classy offensive. They put on an offensive game, outclassing the Irish 388 to 286 yards. They even blocked a 61-yard field goal at the end of the game. So that was a devastating loss for Notre Dame. as many in the fan base have begun questioning if head coach Marcus Freeman is the right man to lead the program. So it's a big loss, and I'm going to be keeping an eye on them and how Coach Freeman, how he adjusts and where they go from there. The other big game, the Texas Longhorns went into the Big House, which is in for the University of Michigan. They completely dismantled Michigan, 31-12. The Longhorns jumped out to a 24-3 lead in the first half. Quarterback Quinn Ewers, he went 24-36, 246 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Texas rushed for 143 yards and 32 carries and a touchdown. I mean, final score to me was not even close as the final results. Even for the Wolverines, their quarterback play, it seems to be a major issue, in terms of their development. Quarterback Davis Warren, while he went 22 or 33 for 204 yards, 1 touchdown, he did throw 2 interceptions. But the biggest thing for me was the rushing for Michigan. They only gained 80 yards on 23 carries. Donovan Edwards, who was considered a Heisman Trophy candidate going into the season, he only accounted for 41 yards on 8 carries, no touchdowns. So this win for Texas is the first against the reigning national champions since 1998. So that's a big thing for them. So, and the last thing in terms of college football games, Nebraska took on Colorado, and they took them out deep in the woods and put a complete smackdown on those Buffaloes. Quarterback Dylan Raiola played above his class because he's a true freshman. Now, his passion was efficient as he went 23 of 30 for 185 yards and 1 touchdown. Now, to further expand on this performance, though, this was about Nebraska dominating the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football, man. Totally dominated Buffalo up front. So, and they were very physical with them. Colorado ended up losing senior safety Shiloh Sanders to a broken forearm, and some projections have him out 4 to 6 weeks. So I don't know. I'm going to see where that goes from there. So final thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is Coach Ed's college football rankings. So I'm going to give you guys my rankings right now. Let's bring that up. Oops, not this window. And damn it. Oh, here we go. Window. Here we go. Got it. Can you guys see it?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Right now, the bottom five are Boston College at 25, Iowa State at 20, Nebraska at 23, Clemson at 22, Washington at 21. Going into 20 is Louisville. 19 is Notre Dame. 18 is Michigan. 17 is Arizona. 16 is LSU. Oops. 15 is Kansas State. 14 is Oklahoma State. 13 is Oklahoma. 12 is USC. 11 is Miami. And going into the top 10, you have Utah coming in at number 10. Oregon at number 9. Missouri at number 8. Penn State at number 7. Tennessee at number 6. Ole Miss at number 5. Alabama at number 4. Ohio State at number 3. Texas at number 2. And we all can figure out who's number 1. Georgia will be number 1. So that's my top 25. How I see it. Go ahead and rip it apart. I don't care, but that's my opinion and how I feel about it in reference to that. And the last thing I'm going to touch on today, it's going to be college football also. And it's going to deal with my Scarlet Knights. You knew I was going to go there. If you didn't, you're crazy. You're fooling yourself. Couple of things that I want to talk about. Here we go. Rutgers took on an unmet program, and they played Akron, and they defeated Akron 49-17. So was a big game. The reason why this game was so dominant by Rutgers, running back Kyle Monungai rushed for 208 yards on 27 carries. Let me make sure. Do I have everything right? There it is. That's what I was looking for. And here's Kyle Monungai, number 5, who's getting lifted into the air for you guys. So Monungai rushed for 208 yards on 27 carries. The 208 yards is a career high, also 3 carries. On the season, Monungai has rushed for 373 yards and 4 touchdowns already. Also contributing offensively was quarterback Ethan Kaliakmanis. He threw for 3 touchdowns to contribute with what he did. He was 14-23 for 230 yards. He also threw an interception to go along with the touchdowns. One of the things I wanted to talk about with Kaliakmanis, he had one of the most beautiful passes in a long time in Rutgers, in the Rutgers fan base. He was a 58 touchdown, 58-yard pass to wide receiver Chris Long. But on the play, Kaliakmanis pumped freight to Long to his right, and then Long got behind the defensive back, and then Kaliakmanis just put the ball in the air over the top, where Long just caught it right over his shoulder, right into his hands in perfect stride, and the defensive back was left falling and flailing and ended up flat on his face, and then Long just basically glided into the end zone. And it's something that Rutgers fans haven't seen in a long time and have been craving for. We weren't able to do this last year, and now we see that you now have the opportunity to open up the passing game. So, and that's going to send a big message to the other schools that come in and play against Rutgers. You can't load the box like you did to try and take away the Russian attack, which now is also going to help in the Russian attack. You know, you got a quarterback who's throwing 3 touchdown passes per game, as well as throwing the ball deep. It's now going to allow you to use the running attack a lot more efficiently and effectively. Now, the scores for Akron, they did account on the touchdowns were accounted for on blown opportunities. One was down the Akron left side. Rutgers blitz for some reason, the safety, the linebacker, and the cornerback from that side, and they left that receiver by himself. The other safety who started on the other side of the field was trying to rotate over, and he could not get there. And it was I believe it was a 35-yard touchdown pass. It baffled me. I don't understand why. I think it's a blown coverage. So Rutgers is going to have to clean that up. Otherwise, teams are going to try and exploit the same thing. The other one was against the second and third units. It was a long touchdown run by the running back. But, you know, I think I attribute that to young players being in the game. So it is what it is. This week, Rutgers is also on a bye. But next week, they're going to be traveling down to Blacksburg, to Virginia, to take on the Virginia Hokies. So this bye comes at the right time because Rutgers has been dealing with a lot of injuries along the way. So hopefully we'll be able to get things going and be ready for Virginia Tech. So last couple of things I want to touch on. The first thing is in reference to Kyle Monungai. Excuse me. He has, by the East-West Shrine Bowl, he has been designated the Offensive Breakout Player of the Week. So it's a great accomplishment. And the Shrine Bowl is one of the top bowl programs that looks at all the seniors. And, you know, you get invited to the Shrine Bowl, and a lot of scouts are at that game. So, you know, this is where a lot of professional scouts start to really get to pay attention to some of the guys, you know, a little bit more in detail. So, you know, you're at, you know, this, you know, during the practice, you know, the routine, just like with the East-West, all the other different bowl games. So, but congratulations to Kyle for winning this award. Next thing I wanted to touch on, It deals with Ethan Kaliakmanis, two of them. Wait a minute, where is it? Here's the first one. And found it very interesting because it deals with a little bit of history for Rutgers. Ethan Kaliakmanis is the first Rutgers quarterback with 3 touchdown passes in consecutive games since Chris Laviano since in 2015. And I didn't realize that it's been that futile, in these past few years historically for Rutgers. The play has been atrocious. That's 3 touchdowns in the first game against Howard, I'm sorry, and now against Akron. Now, when the talent steps up, I do think it's going to go down, but at least it's telling us that, you know what, he's a serviceable quarterback and he takes advantage of the opportunities that are presented to him. The other thing with Ethan deals with a little information from the night report. These are his passing numbers. When he's kept clean, he's 26 of 40 for 309 yards, 4 touchdowns, and interception. That's a 128 NFL rating. When he's under pressure, just like any other quarterback, he's 3 of 7, 68 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 78.3 NFL rating. Not blitz, 20 of 30, 218 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 121.3 NFL rating. When he's blitz, he's 9 of 17 for 159 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 100.2 NFL rating. So that's pretty impressive to me. People want to talk about, his game in a sense, especially coming from Minnesota. I'm not saying he's, the elite quarterback, but he's a good quarterback and he's going to help benefit Rutgers in the long run. And the last thing I want to touch on is in terms of grading. Shout out to Mike Broadbent, one of the guys I follow. Rutgers continues to be one of the highest graded teams on PFF, currently at 93.9 overall grade, which is places them third in the FBS, behind only Ole Miss and the Ohio State University. So that's pretty impressive. And then when we talk about the offensive line, these are the starting offensive linemen. Tyler Needleham and Holland Pierce are the tackles, right tackle and the left tackle. Needleham is number 1, as you can see. Holland Pierce is number 22. Kawena Asamoah, he's the right guard. He's number 10. And Brian Felter is the left guard. He's number 43. And the center is Gus Zelinkas. He's ranked at number 29 overall. So this points to why Rutgers is doing so well is because of the offensive line. And who is the offensive line coach? Former New York Giants offensive line coach, Pat Flaherty. So, but that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to give you guys today for Coach's Corner. Back to you, NYG.
Good stuff, man. As always, Coach, man. Definitely appreciate you, man. So now I can ask you legitly, what's your thoughts on Rutgers versus Tech here, man?
Right now, Tech is the question is which is Tech really good because of what happened with Vanderbilt. A lot of people are questioning it, and I think Tech is a lot better than people are questioning. I just, I give Vanderbilt credit, and I think Tech was, kind of expecting a little cakewalk. It's going to be a tough game for Rutgers. The atmosphere overall is going to be electric.
That's what I was thinking about.
But Rutgers is going to come in well prepared. Don't forget Rutgers they beat them soundly last year. I think it was 31-16, if I'm not mistaken, or something to that effect. And it was expected to be a lot closer. So Rutgers is very physical, and on both sides of the ball. But again, I think Virginia Tech is going to feed off of the energy from the home crowd, and they're going to really bring it to Rutgers. They want payback for last year. So I still see this game can go either way. I'm waiting to see what the betting line is. If I have to say, I think they're going to give Virginia Tech a 3.5 point favorite. Rutgers, like I said, they've been beat up. Tyreen Powell who's their other starting linebacker, hasn't played at all. So this is going to be his first game back. If he's able to play. Um, whatchamacallit, Akron did kind of attack the linebacker level against Rutgers this game. Howard wasn't able to, but you're talking about the FBS team, which is a mid-major. So I'm expecting Virginia Tech to be able to do that. They have also Kyron Drones, a very elusive
Yeah.
quarterback who can beat you
They
with his
always
legs.
have those elusive
Mhm.
quarterbacks at Tech. It's one
Exactly.
thing Tech is known for.
So Rutgers is going to have to, they're going to have to control the line of scrimmage with the run game. But now, if Ethan can, get the pass off, get the passing game going, and guys can make plays down the field, it's going to force Virginia Tech to play back, and that's going to play right into Rutgers' hands because their offensive line is definitely giving the running backs the passing lanes, the passing alleys that they need. I think they're also going to have if not all, but a bigger complement of their running backs because I think this game they only used two running backs because Sam Brown was hurt and he's their second string running back. Sam Brown is about 6 feet, about 235, so he's more of a physical type. Well, they're all physical. They run hard. When I say legitimately, think of Isaiah Pacheco. When you think about Rutgers running backs, they all pretty much run the same way. Um,
Yeah.
Kyle is, he'll make a guy miss in the hole if he has him dead to right, but he will dip his shoulder and lay it right into a guy's chest and run him over. So, and they all seem to fall forward. So I'm excited to see the matchup and see where it goes, and then what we could do. Now, one of the biggest things with Rutgers defensively is they're not getting a lot of pressure on the quarterbacks like they used to in the past with their front four. Aaron Lewis has to step up, man. He has to be a beast. But you're also going to get Wesley Bailey back, who's been out, who's their leading sack returner from last year. So,
All right. Cool, man. Appreciate you, man.
hmm
Good coach's corner, man. As always.
hmm
Definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all for stopping by Heart of the City tonight, man. And we always talking that NYC flavor. You already know what
Yeah,
it is,
definitely.
man. But definitely tell the people where they can find y'all at, man, for the rest of the week and what y'all got going on. And give me a few minutes backstage, Lee, from when I'll let you.
Oh yeah, of course. I'll go first.
hmm
YouTube.com/Lee4788. I will be around for a good portion of the season. Got to set up my new schedule. I'm back to getting that good old W-2 money. The 1099 money was good, but I got to get back to the weekly check. So yeah, I got to get mine. You know what I'm saying? I got to get back, man. I got to get back on the book. So, um, shout out, of course, NYG Unpopular Opinion. Shout out Coach Ed. Shout out Man-Cave. Shout out Lou. Shout out Lou. Follow me as well. Shout out Big Pat. Shout out, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Big Fan Breezy. Shout out everybody in this world. Um, yeah, definitely. But I'm gonna try to get back. Hopefully this winter I'll be chilled up in the house making these videos, man. That's probably be the proper time to do it. My car can get some rest, man. And then I can get back to trying to get back to monetization. I'm trying to clean up my act on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to everybody though. But definitely, man. Pop, you got me. I'm gonna stick around for a little bit.
All right, you can find me the Man Cave podcast on the YouTube, the Man Cave _SGod on Twitter. Also, like Thursday coming up, I'll be with Coach. We're gonna be doing the full court press on Thursday. Friday will be the Black Top podcast, with my brothers NYG and the coach. And then also Saturday, I'm thinking about probably doing the Oregon versus Oregon State game. I want to see how my schedule look like, so I should be able to do that or live streaming that game on Saturday. And then of course Saturday night, with probably leather to the face, depending on if we get leather to the face. And Sunday, Giants Convo, and then also all day long with the Big Blue Crew Sports Network doing live streams with the Giants game. But like I said, make sure you please hit that like and subscribe button. Also, share on all social media platforms. Make sure you subscribe to the Big Blue Crew Sports Network, the one-stop shop for all sports contents, one centralized location for all our contents. If you haven't subscribed, please go subscribe right there, right now, the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. And all the Big Blue Crew Sports members, NYG Unpopular Opinion Sports, the Coach Ed Gladney's Amazing World of Sports, Big Pat's Sports Talk, G Nation Inside Sports, Miz in the Midday, Wales to New Jersey, Mac the Giants fan, Big Blue in the Bronx, certified, I keep saying certified, classified 3F with Joel, and all the other members of the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. Now you got it, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, you got it.
You can reach Coach at Gladney's Amazing World of Sports on YouTube, on Twitter, X, whatever you would categorize it. It's Skies Papa 72. That's SKYS POPPA 72. On Instagram is Don't Sweat the Technique, and on TikTok it's Ed Gladney. That's where you can find me at. And this week I have tomorrow, Pick and Roll podcast. I have that's at 5. At 7, I have doing it for the R, where I talk Rutgers athletics, everything that's going on in Rutgers. Thursday, like Man-Cave said, I said the full court press. Wednesday, depending, I might be on one of the late night shows with either Pat or Lou, whoever's running it. Friday, I'll do the actually there's going to be a change. This Friday, we're now moving the whatchamacallit, the halftime coaching adjustment show. That's moving to Friday now. So we're doing that so I can stay open on the weekends on Saturdays for college football. So that'll be either 7:30 on Friday. So we're just moving it there. So still sometimes we might catch it on Saturdays, but for now it's going to Fridays. Saturday, I was thinking about doing Bama, Wisconsin. I'm doing a doubleheader back-to-back, Bama, Wisconsin, and Man-Cave. If you're going to do Oregon and Oregon State, then I'm going to probably either do the backyard borough, which West Virginia and Pitt, or Washington, the Apple.
I was thinking about that game
Apple
too.
Bottom 10, the Washington State, Washington. Probably more apt to do that because it's Big Ten. So, and then of course Sunday Giants conversation. So, and then next Monday will be Reading Attack Sports Live, getting into it. So that's pretty much it, man. Always staying busy.
Also, how could I forget, man, my shows, man? Leaf is the League. Of course, man, I'm about I don't know how many episodes I'm into that, but I will be continuing my second season of Nets Visual. I did 68 out of 82 games last year. I plan on meeting my 65 game mark this year. If I don't, then yeah, I already know why. Because the team is ass. So I mean, but yeah. So well, we gonna figure it out this year. And I'm also planning on starting Pack 'em Up. That's gonna be my Green Bay Packers podcast number. So that's going down. Yeah. So yeah, we gonna start packing them up left and right. Listen, everybody think we down and out. Yeah, everybody think we down and out, man, because of that BS that happened on Friday night in Brazil, man. But I mean, it is what it is. A lot of first week jitters. Well, I can't even say first week jitters because today's players, they use the first 3 to 5 weeks to get in shape in the NFL anyway. So I mean, man, we just gonna have to see, man. We a young team, and we gonna figure. We peaked a little bit early, but we gonna figure it out. We damn sure ain't gonna lose to the damn New York Giants again. That's what we damn sure not gonna do. So it is what
I don't
it is.
even think we play y'all this year, but anyway,
Nick,
we still got the upper hand.
Yo, Nick, just for the record, man, I'm sorry I didn't see that. Good, but that picture was taken in 2012, 2011 when I was the DC of the New Jersey Lions minor league semi-pro football team.
Cool, man. But definitely appreciate y'all, man, for tapping in. You can always catch me here on Unpopular Opinion Sports with my unpopular opinions. Heart of the City, the Blacktop Podcast, New York Giants Conversation, and of course on the Big Blue Crew Sports Network with all the streams. We'll be streaming multiple games this Sunday. Once again, we will be getting into basketball streams coming in this fall. So we're going to be doing a lot of live streaming here on not only Unpopular Opinion Sports, but the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. So definitely go sub to myself, all these content creators, and the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. And until next time, we going to get up out of here. Y'all know how we do it. Deuces.
Peace.
This has been a Big Blue Crew Sports Network production.